So you're thinking about buying a home. There are going to be a few steps in the process, and I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about what that's going to include. So to get started, basically what you'll need to do is a little bit of financial planning. So either you've been saving for a while or you have a savings plan like set and ready. Perhaps you won the lottery, or perhaps you have a little nest egg that you've inherited that you're ready to put to use. That's going to be your first step, is considering what your budget is. Your next step is going to be deciding to take this next step. It's a big decision. It's not something that you could just that you should do lightly. So you have a few decisions to make. You want to narrow down what your priorities are, whether it's the home itself and the style and the condition or location, and which is going to be more important to you, because you're going to be able to find a lot more if you're a little more flexible on location or style or things like that. So it's something you have to put a lot of consideration into to decide what you're going to actually be shopping for. The next step before actually shopping is getting financially prepared and pre-approved. So there's a difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval. So pre-qualification is when you can basically use like an online calculator or tool to tell you how much you might be able to afford, using information like how much savings you have and what your salary is or your expected income. But it's not going to be like an official approval until you actually go to a lender and provide actual evidence of all that information, like pay stubs, tax records, any financial obligations that you already have, any debt. All that's going to be taken into account before they'll actually approve you for a loan. And you have to basically prove that you'll be able to pay them back or make your payments without falling behind. Once you speak to a lender, and I do recommend that you find a human to talk to. Don't do everything online. You can use the phone if you prefer, but it is much better to be able to have that face-to-face conversation with a lender so that you can ask those questions and provide answers to their questions. A lot of times there's going to be some things that you'll have to go back and forth on or provide more information on, and if you're able to have a conversation with a human person, you'll be able to get that information much quicker, and you'll be able to rely on it more. So once you're pre-approved and you actually know how much money you have to be able to go and spend, you'll also want to get some consideration to whether you want to buy an existing home, or if you want to build a home, or if you want to go to a development where you can choose a home plan, or if you want to buy property and use a custom builder to do everything from scratch. So there's a lot of consideration to think about. I do recommend speaking to a realtor at that point so that you can go over all the different options and they can kind of walk you through the details of every little thing. Obviously, if you're watching this, I'm hoping that you'll consider me as your realtor, and we can go through all those things of what you're looking for and make your wish list so that we can proceed with the search and the showings. So once you proceed to that point and you do your search and you are finding homes, it's important to be flexible on when you're able to go and see some homes, because in today's market, inventory is super low, which means houses, as soon as they list, they're going to sell if they're priced correctly. So you have to be able to just jump and go and see that home so that you're able to put in an offer if it's something that you really like. However, even with the pressure of knowing inventory is low, you still want to kind of take a breath and take a step back before you put your offer on the table to make sure it's what you really want. So again, it's important to talk to and work with a realtor that you like and that you trust and that you can get a hold of. It's very important that they're responsive to you so that they can jump on these opportunities for you and also answer your questions, because a lot of times time is of the essence. Once you find your home, your dream home, and you're putting an offer in, you'll speak to your realtor about what the conditions are, what your concerns are. If you want to put any contingencies in your offer, meaning if you have a home that you need to sell before you can actually purchase this home, you can include a contingency in that contract that if your home doesn't sell, you're able to walk away from that contract without being financially obligated to it. There's another contingency that you have to have an inspection, and they're willing to work with you on results of that inspection to make sure that you're not going to buy like a lemon or a home that's just going to have a lot of problems right after you move in. So some of those things are there to protect you. So even if you're excited about the house, it's important to kind of take note of these other options that are there, even if it makes your offer just slightly less desirable for that seller. It could protect you in the long run from spending a lot more money or hurting yourself financially. Once you make the offer, it'll go to the seller. They'll consider it. They might have other offers. And sometimes there can be a lot of back and forth negotiating. Sometimes there can be a bit of a bidding war. It's important to not get too caught up in the competition of it, that you end up signing up for something that you don't really love or that you can't actually afford and will put you in a difficult position. So again, work with your realtor and make those wise decisions. Once all the negotiating is done and everybody's come to the table with an offer that works for everybody, they'll accept your offer and we can move on to the next step. I'll have a video for the next steps coming up. Thanks, guys.